guys, long time no see. This is Chris Yoon here again, and it's nice to see you guys. I know it's been a while. A lot has just been happening in my life over the past few months. First of all, I actually dabbled in a different YouTube channel with my younger brother Ben, where we were posting some reactions to our first time watching a few different anime series. We actually moved, our entire family did, within the past couple of weeks as well, so a lot of house hunting that was involved there, and obviously the move itself. But we have settled in. This is the new setup that you're looking at now, and with having been away for so long, I was aching and just really wanting to just share my next set of thoughts with you guys in the form of this video right here. Now, in the last video that I posted, I did mention towards the end that I would be talking about my Seiko story in the next video. So that's what we've got ready for you today. This is my Seiko story. I'll start by saying that Seiko is currently, and in all likelihood will continue to be, my favorite brand in this wonderful watch collecting journey. Now, why is that? It really comes down to three primary reasons. I'm gonna throw in like a little kind of small bonus fourth one, completely not in order. But first, it comes down to the design language of Seiko generally as a brand. Now, I know they have a lot of different lineups and different parts of their brand heritage, and as a result, you've got a couple different types of designs obviously throughout the Seiko collection, but all in all, there's a certain sort of common thread of robustness, of just everyday wearability for the vast majority of Seiko timepieces, and certainly for the Seiko pieces that are in my collection. There's also, of course, the impeccable history of Seiko, the heritage, the wonderful ways in which it has revolutionized the watch making market. The quartz crisis that I'm sure we all know about at this point, the various ways in which they've been really at the frontier of the watch manufacturing process, including with the Seiko speed timer, which is arguably, allegedly, the first, at least one of the first automatic chronograph that were ever produced and were mass produced, really. There's of course the iconic 62 MAS design from 1965, and the way in which Seiko was really competing with its Swiss counterparts, and certainly at that point, to an extent even today perhaps, the really heavy hitters that were dominating the market at the time. And that willingness to just fight and, you know, put a mark out there for themselves, I think it's just something to be admired. The little bit of bonus reason that I'll share with respect to why I love Seiko so much, it would probably fall at the bottom of the totem pole here, but I have seen a lot of content out there about in-house movements, about being vertically integrated, and how it really takes a very ambitious watchmaking company to pursue something like that. That level of precision and control in every single part of the manufacturing design process. I think it lends itself to just the exact product that Seiko is kind of envisioning once they're kind of at the drawing board, right? I liken it to, or can draw some parallel to Apple, especially nowadays with their Apple silicon chips, like really harmonizing the hardware and the software and moving more towards that vertically integrated manufacturing process. I can see some similarities there, and hopefully that makes sense to you guys too. The most important reason though as to why I love Seiko the way that I do, it really comes down to my personal connection with the brand, and I'm going to be getting into that for the most part today, and sort of sharing again that Seiko story, my Seiko story with you. But before we get into that, as always, I wanted to share that Jesus loves you, no matter where you've been or who you are, how you may or may not have made mistakes or hurt people or yourself been hurt. he's waiting for all of us with open arms, and all he requires is that we confess our sin to him and to follow him. I wanted to share it with you all. Okay, so my Seiko story really starts with, at least chronologically, it starts with my grandfather. This is my dad's dad. And I never got a chance to meet the man. He lived all his life in South Korea near Incheon, which is where my dad's entire family grew up. My dad was the youngest of 7, and this grandfather of mine, I actually never got a chance to meet him. He passed away a couple of years before I was born. But one of the things that I remember about this amazing man, you know, who was a doctor who literally got his family the very first television set in like their entire town or something back in, this probably would have been like the 60s. He told my dad and his siblings that Seiko is the best brand, best watch brand in the world. And I don't think they really know. I have asked and they don't really know the why behind that. Like, what is the basis of my grandfather having had that opinion? But that alone, when I heard that when I was younger, it meant something to me. I didn't really know what to do with it. I wasn't into watch collecting at the time, but I definitely took note of it. Now, couple that, this grandfather whom I'd never met, he literally survived the Korean War, right? He was actually captured by North Korean soldiers and was on a line, just queued up, kind of waiting to be shot down by these North Korean soldiers along with his fellow South Korean compatriots. But it was in the dead of night, and he happened to just find a ditch that he could jump into and waited till the soldiers and along with his fellow South Koreans were kind of marched away, and dawn came, and that's literally the story of how my grandfather survived. This was a few years before my dad was born, right? But this man, his love for Seiko was at least made aware to me when I was younger. Couple that with a very vivid memory of mine when I was 8 years old, where it was my dad's birthday, and my mom took me to a mall where she got him a very special gift. It was a white dial quartz Seiko. I'm pretty sure she spent like $200 on it, and at the time for us, that was a really, really big deal, a really big purchase, right? My siblings and I, we grew up in New York. My parents were first generation immigrants. They moved to the States in their 20s, and really everything was about putting food on the table and giving their children the best possible education. So seeing my mom kind of splurge this $200 as a birthday gift for my dad, I remember just it becoming such a core memory to me all these years later, and me being sort of borderline shocked when it happened in the moment too. And as a fun side note, for Father's Day, which just passed a couple weeks ago, that same Seiko quartz watch, which its battery had died, I think years ago. My dad had never gone around to replacing the battery. My siblings and I got the battery replaced, and we actually gifted it to him for Father's Day, so there you go. But as a result, fast forward quite a bit, and when I first started getting into watch collecting at the end of 2023, I knew that the first watch that I needed to get was a Seiko. There was no doubt in my mind, which is when I pulled the trigger on the Dress KX, that black Dress KX that if you guys follow the channel, you will have seen a couple times at this point. Still an amazing watch, and it's it's still a current favorite of mine, right? Like I put the Strap Monster video up, I want to say a couple of videos ago, so you know how much I love having that watch as a part of my rotation. But that was the start of my watch collecting journey, and Seiko really was, and I think will always be, the core foundation of my watch collection, no matter where I take it. Going forward, we'll see to what extent this Seiko foundation has an impact on my continuing watch collection journey. A Grand Seiko timepiece is certainly an option that's on the table as I think about moving up to the next level in my timepieces and sort of the quality and the craftsmanship therein. But I will admit, I've been eyeing some other pieces that don't fall in line with the Seiko collection. A couple of them being a Cartier Santos. When I first saw that watch, and I have tried it on in person, just the design really speaks to me, right? And even the history of it being, considered the very first men's wristwatch, with the whole Alberto Santos Dumont story, as a pilot and everything going on there. I really do appreciate that first nature of it. But honestly, more than anything else, it is that super slick industrial design that is simultaneously so elegant and refined that I find to be that compelling. A couple other pieces that might be entering the collection at some point, like an Omega Seamaster 300. I've been eyeing the blue dial in particular. In terms of GMT, I have been liking the Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT, that Coke bezel with a little bit of gilt accent. I don't have anything that kind of shares the same color palette, so that may also be in the horizon as well. If I had to choose right now, I think the Santos is kind of top of the list, or the one that I'm lusting after the most. But ultimately, again, this is what Seiko means to me, very briefly. I have the personal connection with it. I think the way that they produce their watches and go about their overall philosophy, just Japanese craftsmanship in general, right? Even beyond the industry of watchmaking, it's something to really admire. And I'm happy to say that I am one of those admirers. And all the while, I'm also able to harken back to my family's history and continue or help contribute to a bit of a family legacy there, just in wearing my Seikos and being the voice of watch collection craziness within my family, which I've proudly embraced at this point. So yeah, that's my story with Seiko. Thank you so much for joining. Again, thank you for your patience as well, given all these months since my last video. I promise to be uploading more regularly going forward, especially now that all this craziness is behind me. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Aura plus 1000.